Just as you say there, without faith foundation.
Yes,
Yes. And I know that some of the issues that will have caused crisis in Kaduna has been, how do you call it, handled by the School of Education.
Yeah.
On several occasions, we have reports. We have reports by reading our Muslim brothers.
Yes.
Maybe they did something to our Christian
brothers. Yes, sir.
But the Muslim brothers who did these things, he look at it because he said he's a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
But the deed and the attitude he displayed, it is a Muslim attitude.
Yes, sir.
What he did was what maybe is not in the character of a Muslim.
Yeah.
And when they came to the report, what we did is to quickly contact the GACRB secretary.
Yeah.
And after contacting, you call the process. And you bring some learned Islamic scholars to explain why he did that. Yeah. At the end of the day, the person was still removed. And the thing will be settled and it. So also the wives of some of our Christian brothers who when maybe they possess something from our Muslim brothers who are selling in the market and refuse to pay. And they will come and report to the office and say, look at what person you do. This contract is something from us. If we start doing trouble, they will say we are bringing a religious crisis. And immediately we will summon them. If they don't want to come, it's okay. If the case is not between you and the person, invite the essence that the police will go and pick them by force. And at the end of the day, it will be settled. So, at least, they are working towards taking peace. And interfaith is also there. Interfaith meditation is there.
Okay, I was trying to recall the point made by my fellow colleague here. Sorry, sir, you mentioned the point that then, I think maybe 70s or 60s, yes, when people were all living together in a harmonious way, and then there is nothing like dividing line between people. And you made a reference of now when it is divided into two, Southern and then Northern, and all these things you have mentioned. But that's why we want to know more. The networks that will bring people together back to the ancient time when we mentioned people are together. So are there this kind of existing networks? So also are there any kind of existing mechanisms in place so that people can be able to come together? Yeah.
As long as we are practicing say democracy in our Nigerian system,
Yes, sir.
there never be religious harmony. Let me give an example. The average politician, if he's asking for a vote, what people are asking not to vote for a Christian if he's a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
Mind you, if he's elected and he happens to be a National Assembly member in Abuja also, you will find out that he has a mistress, Chinyere, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's only when they are looking for vote, they will come and tell you, they will divide us along religion and cultural differences in order for them to get what they want from us. So those days that I was telling you was purely military regime. And in the military there is nothing like religion. Although we have our own interfaith directorate, we have the Islamic directorate, we have Protestant and Catholic directorates. But you find out that a Christian general has an aide Muslim, maybe he still get with the Muslim, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So is all these religion issues have been politicized for their own personal aggrandizement.
Thank you. Our main agenda here today is just for us to see if they are in existence, we are to leverage and build on that. And if they are not in existence, how do we identify that? How do we establish that? You understand? A network and then the mechanisms of that. So on this note, we have discussed the code extensively. And then we'll take a lead on this conversation and we continue. So it's like
Actually, I wanted you to do while I take copious notes. Okay. I'm a student. I will receive lecture and I will take notes. Please. Please help. I will take note copious notes.
No.
Well, you are equally. So, they help me take the notes. Okay. Very good. Once a teacher, always a teacher. I wanted to be a student, but he's not letting me be.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
I recall when there was a first Kaduna crisis that I noticed. I had like there was one before I came to Kaduna. That was in 2000, right? After then, we had one network of creatives, majorly radio presenters, actors, theater practitioners, that we created one network there. It was after we had a training from STEMA, not the STEMA of now. One organization used to be the STEMA, the Strategic Empowerment Mediation Agency. It was an NGO, along with ANEWA, our new Extension Women Associations. We had series of trainings. Then we now created that network of creatives, radio presenters, TV presenters, actors, and community persons. And that network was really strong then. And they existed for a couple of years, but unfortunately, most of us were not married then. We got married, some people left town and all of that. But the most important part of it was that there was no funding, so it was really stressful for many of the members that we are not employed in or doing a business where they get regular income. That network was really strong then because we carried out theater for development, whereby when there's a crisis anywhere, they'll just call us, we'll go to that location, we'll create a drama using people from that location to be part of our drama team, and we do a drama. Well, most of the time we do market days, or we do it around the king palace or so, where we concentrate them, tell them they need for us to live in peace and all of that. It was quite interesting there, but like I said, lack of funds was what killed that network. I believe if something like that can be created now, it's something that I am sure will work, because any community we go to, members of that community, some of the story as they call themselves, people will train part of the drama and will create a drama and do it here. At least, I'm sure people won't kill their own brothers when they see them, some other people doing something like that. If we can resuscitate something like that to work, because most of us are still in Kaduna though.
Yes, in fact, these kind of connections are vital, and if there is a way to resuscitate that, would be a major achievement. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. By mistake, my father is from Katsina. By mistake, my mother is from Benue. By mistake, my stepmother is an Edo woman. By mistake, my father got married to an Auchi, Uromi woman from Edo. By mistake again, my father married a Fulani woman. So I don't think for me as a Katsina man who has stepfather, who have stepmothers here and there, a Tiv woman, a Birom woman, one again in what we call this place, in Kapanchan. Yeah. So I don't see reason. How I wish Anthony was around, because he knows the family I'm talking about, very close to my house. They are just left over the Hakimi of Doka. He would have attested to what I'm trying to tell you. So for me, I don't look at you to be a people man or a people woman because I have it in my gene. My uncles are from people that I have uncles from Biro. I have uncles who are from Tigland, and I have uncles who are Fulanis. So when I look at you first, what I see in you is humanity.
Yeah.
And going forward, the issue of this bar suluhu, I have pictures here. We met them, we showed them that, yeah, it's possible to live in peace and harmony. As he rightly said, when we went to the community, lucky for us, the head of bar suluhu was interested in a development civil society actor.
Yeah.
He was trying to frame her. You can see, they are human too. So he was in love with this lady. The lady now is in US, practicing, doing her activities in US. So he was interested in her, and that was our entry point. So for me, I think it is doable. We can build these networks and work on it. Then, Plan International gave us resources. We did advocacy. You passing towards Rigasa, you will just see, this is Bas who was saying, I had the Makame. Yeah. I want to second Bas who they talk say, I had the Makame. So things like that can happen on posters. We went to Zaria, we went to, what do we call it, Kajuru, we went to Sabongari. The pictures are all here. And I think it is doable if we build a very vibrant network like the one we used to build with you. Interfaith Mediation Center. We can achieve all those things. For me, it is not my dream to be a Muslim. It is not my dream for my father to be a Katsina man. It is not my doing. He never contacted me. If he contacted me, I would have said, Baba, go back to Saudi. That is where I want to belong. So you see, it is like that. And for we as citizens, there exists north, east, west, right in our bedroom.
Yeah.
Go into your bedroom and tell me there is no north, east, west, and south. Oh, it is. We just have to harmonize ourselves and live together. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for this double contribution. When you said by mistake, I was wondering where are you headed? So
Yeah, I would have been somewhere
you would
else.
have chosen to be
Yes.
somewhere that. Okay, that's good to know. You mentioned the question of humanity.
Yes.
I think that is a very important point. If you look at it from Islamic tradition, for example, there is the family of Abraham connection, and then there is the family of Adam. That's going to talk about his sons. That takes you to family of Adam, all created by one God. And then the reality of differences is acknowledged by the concept of the family of Abraham. The crisis in the Middle East was being negotiated around the Abrahamic Accord.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump happens, and then sorry.
Historians are wonderful.
My favorite question. Mine is I want to build one of my brother says the representative of Ajikawa. You see, democracy is not good. Our problems like our education. If we are going to take our campaign door to door, rural area, one room and crime to tell them, look, these politicians are there to protect your interest, but just 30%. 70% is their own interest. So please, let's live in a harmonious way. We should not have false consciousness according to the mass. We should have group consciousness as a government. Because all stress has happened is the government. That has not happened in Nigeria. You hardly see something happen in Nigeria. And I want to make a reference to those days where I did my research. I was very amazed when I near small place called Oka, that is South West. I celebrate my Eid al-Kabir, in that community. When I discovered that the chairman of the local government was part of us, and he was a Christian, he came and blamed us. He even delivered someone in that mosque. He gave me donation. And I asked them, how did he do it? That's how he did. In Christmas festival, the Imam also team of the Senate went to church and celebrated with them. So that's why I say, no matter what happens, anything crashes, and you are going to be yourself when you share again, conversing each other, Christian and Muslim, they are always will say, but it's not, look at me, I will not do say, well, my brother are doing that. Your brother are doing that. Because I'm in university. And I told him, I said, we are going to class. Like, so I saw one of my students because I'm teaching in school, one of the school there. African Church Grammar School, that I taught. So I think, talk to your students, and you should share that every year right now. Look at how we stage she to go and it's not that she put it out. And she put me stage, she didn't come out and say, Sam, my brother said you should not speak to them because here we have no of your if you take this on the go out step, and here we have no of themselves. Honestly speaking, I say I listen to you, yes, no problem. We be said, but you are all that is the kind of show that they he has to level. All of them are instances. But among the children, they are mostly there. And the religion is not an issue there. What they want is education, development. An average child in that place, no matter how old they are, like they are. All Islamic people, they are Muslim, they are there. Because they are appearing with the artisan farm. They spend 9 months, 5 months in the farm. So if we are in medicine and we align ourselves with the show this, honestly speaking, if it's sustainable, maybe this issue.
It's good observation. Yes, democracy is it's a very dangerous kind of politics. And part of the danger of democracy is not sufficiently understanding what democracy promises to deliver. What you legitimately expect democracy to deliver? It's not prosperity. Democracy doesn't promise prosperity. Not even peace. It doesn't promise peace. What democracy promises is participation in government. That's all. Anything beyond that is not the democratic agenda. So surprise, surprise, under democracy will be very bad things happen. Why? Because democracy is never meant to do those things. The most important component of democracy that is attractive is the opportunity to participate in governmental decision making. Not only as an elected lawmaker or governor, but as voter. As ordinary voter, you can participate one way or another. The outcome of that participation is of course dictated by the quality of the input. But democracy thrives on conflict. I mean, it's predicated on conflict. There are opposition parties and there are ruling parties, and to compete. So how this point is importantly noted. Next, the question of education. I will keep coming back to that all the time. Yes, like justice, as I explained yesterday, there are many forms of it. Within education, there is many forms of education. There is school education that we're talking about. I think most of us here, when they say education, they are thinking of school education that will train people for a better life and for more productive life and be more aware. But the contribution from our media professional points to another avenue of education, which is perhaps even more immediately needed. That is like public enlightenment campaign.
Yeah.
One of the participants yesterday, who I must be appreciative for his courage to share his experience of being kidnapped. He mentioned that The kidnappers believe that all of us living in big cities are living in the pocket of the government. That's gross ignorance. That's gross ignorance. You don't need to go to school to have that ignorance eradicated. Public enlightenment campaign is more strategically important for securing the peace and maintaining it than formal educational systems that are too expensive, that are not readily affordable for everybody, especially in a big and poor country like Nigeria. So I'd like us to think about some of these important dimensions of the concept we are using. Also, I would like you, if you speak briefly, then we will have more contributors.
Just want to highlight, based on what I heard from you, something I had, if there are existing structures that are working, so we this has shared some. I know we used to have ChrisNet. ChrisNet was a network of various civil society in particular states, and even from other parts of the other states that work. ChrisNet, complete resolution network, it used to exist among civil society organizations, working in the interest of peace in the state. For us, I know generally there are so many donors who come up their structures that are working on peace, like somebody mentioned, action is search for common ground, USI. Each has one, they all have their structures. Maybe we have to sustain this for, but I want to talk about our own perspective, the one that are from our organization. We have what we call the Conflict Mitigation and Management Regional Council and Mediation Center. Yeah, from the Interfaith Mediation Center. And these structures have been existing since 2012, based on the support and funding. Even after funding has come to close, structures still exist to do their task. I just want to explain how they operate. So I don't have to explain the other structures. These structures comprise from the government, from the traditional system, from the religious institution, from the youth council, from the human rights, all these other structures that are key in terms of if there are issues that have to do with the youth, you communicate directly with the youth. If it has to do with JNI, you can. They are also part of that structure so that they can face the issue, analyze, and communicate to the relevant authority. We also have the review of interfaith from the government. It's an agency from the government that have representatives that at times come in to intervene where the issue is becoming something else. That's just an example. And we also have some key opinion leaders that are well respected in the state that can communicate directly to either the governor or the police commissioner and what have you. We also have in that structure a network of those dealing with prevention of small arms and light weapons, so that if there are issues about that, they will be able to address it directly. NTLB is part of it, civil defense is also part of it, just to share some little about the structure. Secondly, we have what we call the community observers. They are being given skills, capacity to manage conflict, engage in dialogue, when there are issues, and also to identify any signs of conflict before it develops into violence. That is what they do at the community level, and they are recognized by the community leader, they are recognized by the police officer in charge of those jurisdictions. Thirdly, we have what we call network of peace journalism. It's a structure of network of media. We might not capture every other person, but we have quite a number of media groups in that network. Whereby when they identify issue, they identify the focal person based on the dispute or the conflict.
bring him to the table for round table discussion to discuss about the issues. What do we do about it? For example, during the kidnapping of the school children in the forest here, we have to bring the president of the teachers, parents teachers association to come and discuss how do we go about these issues, how do we address this problem that has been persistent. That's just an example. We also worked like Kumi, because he was intervening between the bandits. Yes, correct. We to say, okay, let's hear from you. What are you doing so that people have a better perspective? Not like the hearsay, people given their own perspective of maybe what is happening, he's hiding them. And he shared his own view. That is just an example of the people with biotech. Yes. There are other, well, let me just talk about the last one. We have network of these practitioners. We have with all these practitioners to come and discuss. We identify each organization working on this to see okay, what have we got to share. And it's got across the three zones. So we have zones of Kaduna State where we share lessons, challenges, and prospects. How to go about some of these challenges. Lastly, we have the key. We mentioned violent extremism. It's a network that is ongoing and it has been existing for quite a long time. And we've been working to see how we can share ideas around extreme views. This might not be the one we always know, it can be two hate speeches. What have you? So we work on that and presently working on that to see how we can transfer it to the local government areas, all the 23 local government areas of the ministry. And the state is being recognized. And we also have the youth component of the security. And we also work with the youth to see how we address the issues, challenges around the various thematic issues we have within the state. Thank you for talking to me.
Quick observation. You mentioned funding. The first week also mentioned funding. Funding came yesterday. And when we talk of funding, usually we think of the so-called development partners, investor observation. Maybe it is time we look inward for different mechanisms of fundraising. We have some of the prominent personalities that we work with, who can prepare one for the government. We can organize a fundraiser with them, and I probably have a position in today. And you can look for many other creative ways. It's about time that we gain control of the funding that we take when we can also move. And the country is so rich, there are a lot of good people around. Oftentimes they work silently and no places where they go to hospital and say, who are the people who still pay their bills today and all the medical expenses. Some of the foundations or our foundations that are already up and running, that foundation, there are many of them. Maybe those of us who are working in the private sector in this activism will start to be educated about domestic funding for our activity. Okay? Thank you very much.
I think just also have a new network just established with the client involved, which we identify climate policy experts within the local environmental issue of climate. And monthly we meet to do climate handouts where we discuss issues related to environment and climate communities. And not only to discuss, but also at the end, come up with an action plan, how can we manage this issue. And for us, we have the special advisor to governor climate. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Who's also part of the board? So I think this was part of the land initiative of food application center. We actually meet in our office every month And sometimes we decide to go to other tree or identify some of government agencies to do a monthly meeting here. And maybe hopefully we might invite some of the interested participants also to it, because climate change is one of our issue that we need to see how we can manage. So that's just the only aspect that's what we discuss.
Yes, I want to very important points that are coming for us also to learn all together. The climate issue you mentioned, in the presentation of yesterday, you emphasized that perhaps the most fundamental basis of the kind of company that I experiencing is about land. Land use, land issue, and land overuse, and land degradation. In this part of the country and of north, our major challenge is deforestation. Historically, we don't have as much rainfall as our brothers in the southern part of the country. And also, we do not have thick forests like they have. Because we live in the savannah, our geography is sparse, the vegetation and sparse rainfall. And as our land gets degraded by overuse, chocolate used to build the houses were built in compared to the population that is growing. Now this dynamic of the potential communication problem is very real. And it's important to note that some people are already working. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you because I'm not coming back this week. I'll go that side.
Yes, we think about all participation of all parties. We don't organize exclusively and then affect often figure conflicts. Ensure all the are come together and get more clearly and access to
We also confirm with also the structure with the Ministry of Justice on India, where the center is an ambassador of India University, where we are given access to resolve disputes. And sometimes they even transfer disputes to our organization to resolve using faith-based methods.
This is a kind of synergy that has to be sustained. The government, partnership, government agencies, and citizen movements. Okay, take this line, let me use this.
My name is Sulaiman. I'm from the Joint National Association from the Joint National Association of Persons that you join. Okay. What I want to see here, maybe it will sound somehow, but when it comes to the issue of peace, we do forget about two major groups that West Brigade and their target. Because if we look at this group here, playing a vital role. Because during the private and funding develop the role, and then that hospital and then gathering like this, we do forget to treat them, even their leaders of God, so that they will be part of the organization. When they go back into their platform, they can address the issue.
Very well, sir.
Politics for more. Mora is a program for Muslims, Christians, no. It's a lot of family years. Well, the headquarters in Kenya. Initially, it started with the Christians, but for some years back now, the Muslims are also participating now. We offer diploma and both Muslims. In fact, everybody give them a permanent site, and they have people. Yeah, well, the teacher.
Excellent. When I used to do, I was scratching my head. Is it schedule or is it a second? Explain this education. Okay.
Still, I'm I would want to remind us, history past. That's what made it our era, that's what made it not easy for Nigeria, that is Ethiopia, was no Adamawa. Those places they are declared for emergency and so on. So good places of organization. That is why I said I want to remind us about the cost of this. And I'm here to the Genesis. The book of Homer are not scripture. I have to have the Genesis and the Revelation and all that. We see that when I had this of the days and the days of Homer and I, we need to know in what I meant to do. Factors. If something works for me, it works. If it don't work, they need a we should not just be for it as best kind of attitude. People you remind us, yes, Iowa administrative. There was a time I was working on the deadline for this. At the point of ascension, I became a CJ. They kind of they want to say, look at it. And yes, a liberation of Kaduna in the headquarters, and then you develop your own potential. Stations, I am going to have one side story, we've been teaching one side story for a long time. In a Kenya, in a bush, I'm about that. What time did you do the they actually, I want to one people, before you know it, I can have a travel with them. I can travel on the area. I want to travel for Oshi. I can walk out, you know. And once I told the show, and people like and people come home with me, if you Christians, who are working with me. This issue of faith, the whole of Nigeria, passing tire, only people, it is someone on the street that was trained by someone. These are very sensitive. Are very sensitive people that they belong. What they are recommending towards our success bodies. So that in some way they have to become, extra curricular activities towards mediation. I'm going to give you that reminds people of one number. I'm going to patch it, and I'm patching higher. See, get ready to go. Then I patch it higher because you don't have time for your patch. You don't blow the care to the people up here. You don't care what I need to say about patching. How do you think about patching? Just like you don't care who the pilot is, who you don't know is, yana sallah, yana zuwa coci, pagan ne, Jew ne, da Buddhist ne, don't care. Da mun kawai ne, a yana zuwa yin zuwa ina so ko treatment. A yi da na wani coci ta yi kwalwata. Yana ce masu tare da su ba don fi wadanda za ta yi ma ya kai. A can ba yadda za a yi shiga mota, wallahi ta yi kwalwata da ya motan ba. So they took look at them, not about the two principles and they took their time and the pains with the risk. So they train them what I mean, at the point, if I want to speak, simply to look at the relevant. So if you want to get from the street, possibility is there, possibility payment is there, what's why, and you train the principle for 7 days. Yes, was senior, was the active, was going and so on, and give up meaning. You like, as such, anything they have any subsided because they have a reason to or have been checked. But when the right of officer, it was given to actually one of the other ones your money determines your value. Still, for example, one of things has to come from Calabar, has to come from Orovilega, has to come from Atico. 3 weeks ago, I was in this is not very many. Yeah, I don't have to do I don't know. And 20 years business relationship. So we have to enhance the foundations and we're going to continue forward and that. Let us tailor our businesses in one place and continue to be together. Thank you.
Where I came from, Joe's, when I was going to school, there's a section of this important area. And that's why we got out the University of Fire. An interesting development I have observed is that our young men and women who are graduating from the university for some time now have begun to realize that university certificate is not automatic employment, or even if you get the job, it's never be the most lucrative job. So I have seen graduates with their degrees working as builders, as masons. I've met some of them who are electricians. So many are tailors. This is a very interesting development I'm observing. The realization has already sunk in and people are doing the needful. University education will give you education, not necessarily a livelihood. Socialization. Socialization, yes, but not necessarily livelihood. And in that spirit, these other handcrafts that we used to do, like the entire party, these are being modernized. People tell us now, if you see them, some of them are operating, they are modernizing the craft, making it even more dignified and more rewarding. These are very interesting points that we are learning from this exercise. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
So, everyone. My name is Hassan Bakar. From research and awareness program. Yes, actually, I'm awareness program. The last point made by my brother here, and brother, the representative of persons with disability, that we should engage more people that start instance with the advocacy and group. We have organized some programs within our community. When as the one case is different, the Sarasuka case, not the mandatory issue. Just then. And we're not really looking, we need to carry many people. We use the football coaches to organize football matches between Regaton community and other communities and events and not community. And by so doing, we receive a lot. And one thing that all those Sarasuka and even the mandatory of the other people that are being like any other person who sees people like calling kidnapper. Or if you see anybody that's smoking, just making Sarasuka. That's what caught them the most. Is what caught them the most. That even confronting them on particular issues. So what we did was we did them online. But we now said, okay, since kowa na son ya zama mutum arziki, kowa na so a lalata shi da kaza. When na sa ta da cewa ai a cikin ko akwai waɗanda za su iya zama sanatoci ma, za su iya zama kaza. Da na fi okay, haka ne, mana abubuwan da sun gama su kwanci. Kuma Najeriya ta ce duk wanda ya gama su kwanci zai iya zama shi da mafisa. To, yana cikin ku za su zama. That was how what we did initially to gain their trust. Believe me, the recent decision by the governor of Kogi, Madam Hassan, people are scared that Madam Hassan will not enter the exam performance, that without being explained. But alhamdulillah, we went around to talk to them. We don't understand going to actually go to the exam. Yeah, but in your go to the exam, wannan fatan da muke ba ta masa sanatoci a cikin wanda one ask wallahi ba mu ci ba ko daya a gundumar kasa ba wanda ya ba su an cire wannan abubuwan da ake kiran su to in dai za mu daina stigmatizing mutane muna kiran su wasu sunaye wanda ba jin wani ba kowa da kowa ne yake da wannan sunan sai ba za mu san sauki a su Ismail Muhammad, the Secretary to the District Head of Regasa. I want to start by appreciating the organizers of this program. First and foremost, they're looking for a solution. Inside for more than 15 to 20 years, everyone program is taking place in Kaduna. And behind all, there is a brain everyone program. On the happening local things inside, a lokacin da ake yin zanen Kaduna za ta iya fashewa a lokacin zaɓe. Sai ko an tuna lokaci. Aka ce, kai ɓangaren Christian, kai ɓangaren Musulmi, daga za ta fashe, Kaduna sai za ta fashe. Actually, when we went I think Asad Pyramids was sold. That was where we did the last meeting before the election, sir. And you are the chairman of the meeting. Yes, that's so. So I think places like Wamada, Savantisha, Rigasa, and other places that I mentioned that are the hotspots areas. When I get him, and in the election, something will happen. And before you know it, with the mandate to act about various people that came from various places. And I think I'm one of the persons that come from Regasa. Then I was president of Forum and Association of Regasa. I was given the mandate. And I think that election is one of the most peaceful elections. Because the mandate given to those individuals was carried out successfully. And now we have a person like him, and I was surprised. You know, because we be magana, what did it like Sarah? The only thing I knew he did is challenge my presenter yesterday, which I knew if really he would give the kind of actions and advices, okay, I want to check yesterday, so get it to 20 years back. Which I know we have all the documents that we are planning. We are talking about that we are still in it, and we do not change anywhere. I appreciate what you just said. You cannot just take a program of certification from data checker and implement it. You understand? So I get over one or two things, but it's not all that we understand. So please, we have people like that. I will suggest is let him talk, because they have the experience and the one that I can. Everything needs. So the other like that one, you need to say something, because what the kid that come from the super and the down so now they get a couple to command them that they do. Thank you very much.
Straight. Straight. That is straight.
No corner, no bus stop. It's straight.
Straight.
Well, actually, yes, what you said. I think that was one of the days of the university common management alliance. I can see a number of cases that were quite impossible with the round table when we had conflict management alliance was something that came up as a means of prevention in terms of security in the area of governance. And what we did at that particular point in time was what was mandated for us to do under the Office of the National Security Advisor. It was more or less a round table conference that had members from different segments of society, right from the bottom. We had representation from the civil society organizations, traditional institutions, virtually cross-border. And what we did then was to look at most of the conflicts that were, surfacing within the various segments of the university environment and propose solutions. Discuss their needs. It was a round table that was only coordinated as was after every 2 weeks. The deliberations of the council or the alliance forms part and parcel of the documents that have been presented to the university council. What brought an end to the university conflict management alliance then was the creation of the University Education Commission. Prior to the demise of the University Conflict Management Alliance, the big part is ensuring the big part in practice of the law that stole the establishment of the University Education. We blocked the University Hospital and we dropped part of the remaining remnants of funds that we had under the conflict management alliance with the University Peace Commission. And immediately the University Peace Commission was established. The University Conflict Management Alliance ceased to exist. Now, the conflict management alliance then did what the Peace Commission was doing after the demise of the conflict management alliance. And they had funding, like I said, from the Office of the National Security Advisor. They had mandated to interfere in working the whole crisis and conflicts. What out this team? Be it Burma herders, be it Korea, be it resources conflict, and so on and so on. And it was something that was working smooth. It had a very smooth flow. It had the little bit of understanding of what really was. And members of the armed forces, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, the Third Station, even in Kashmir, the Nigerian Police Force, Civil Defense, Nigerian Immigration Service, Customs, were all part of the Round Table Alliance. And the Secretariat of the Alliance was also being anchored under the Office of the Secretary of Government. So, literally what he said was true, but then, that was just a yes. I don't know if it is possible for us to have something of that sort now that the Peace Commission no longer exists. So this is that to actually form key players within the arena to be able to think aloud and then, maybe perhaps think of something else. Those that remember the second as we had little peace clubs in virtually all the local governments. Those peace clubs were sort of like stand up the conflict management alliance at the local government level, while the state conflict management alliance oversees the entire state. And members of the peace club come to Kaduna every 2 weeks, provide transport and accommodation where necessary for them to attend fortnight weekly meetings we do hold. So that was there, and we were able to manage a lot of things. We were able to come together and work quietly, even for the nations of these lands. Many people couldn't have even known that something like that existed in those days. And most of the
peace and people who are enjoying them were as a result of our efforts and actions. We wouldn't want to blow our trumpet. We prefer something just like us.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing this wonderful experience. And I think it will be necessary at some point to implement this, whether as a memoir or the biography or something of the generation to come, will be a powerful gift.
We literally gave birth to the peace commission. At the initial stage, close to half of the members of the peace commission, including the first chief executive officer of the peace commission, came from that. Idofiram, who chaired the domestic peace commission, was my co-chair when I was chairing the domestic finance. But for some reasons, he left England under the Catholic Council, so Anglican Council of Churches. So he couldn't continue as co-chair, and I became sole-chair. So literally, the peace commission had all our inputs in it. We lobbied day and night. We attended public hearings at the domestic House of Assembly to make sure that the peace commission sees the light of the day. We engaged with all major government agencies like DFID and so on and so forth in ensuring that they provide all the necessary support, technical and so on and so forth, to the peace commission so that it becomes a success. This is it, and like I said, we want to blow our compromise.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, when this issue came up yesterday, I've been thinking about it. Why was the Kaduna Peace Commission dissolved? And I heard from some of the discussion yesterday that something is in the works by the present administration that will start maybe like a replacement of the Peace Commission or something like that. But perhaps what I was talking about.
If you look at the law established in the domestic peace commission, you will find out that there are provisions that give the government exclusive right to dissolve the commission without inviting back to the state house. And so, the wisdom was that the peace commission might serve its purpose for a period of time when peace and tranquility have been achieved to a certain level, whereby communities, which is one of the things we are trying to prove, do take over management of most of the peace within their environments. The need for peace commission going to be there. So, if that situation can be proven, the government has the exclusive right to dissolve the peace commission without inviting back to the state house of assembly. But then, even under such circumstances, this was one of the things that it arranged when the bill was on the process of being vetted by the state house of assembly. But even though powers like that are being vested in the office of the governor, there is need for the state house of assembly also to be consulted. Because this is where you have representation of the various segments of the society. And we called for a situation whereby a transitional structure be put in place, to properly wind up. And where the transitional structure finds that there has been a hasty decision from the office of the governor, they should advise the government that it's not yet time for you to resolve. That was not done. And secondly, I believe there were political people that opposed the decision. Even though this government sometimes doesn't like us saying that it's an option of the previous government, it was because of the decision. It was taken because of the previous government. Whether they like it or not, we continue to say this. And they can't run away from that fact. It's better for them to come out and agree that yes, we were part and parcel of that decisions that were taken that we believe was a mistake. So we are going to make a nice decision. But for them completely to come out and be in outright confrontation on these issues, it's not very much.
Thank you very much, sir. To quick point to amplify for what I said, there was funding from the National Security Advisor's Office to support what we are doing. And follow up to the point he made yesterday, that we should provide PSD and all this external funding, which I get this morning. Please take note of potential sources of funding for your own activities that are domestic, including our own philanthropic foundations, as well as self-governmented agencies that have a mandate that can be used to provide support domestically for some of the activities that we are doing. Politics is always with us, either in the good or the bad sense, and what makes democracy attractive, as I mentioned earlier, is that if the politics takes a very negative turn, your participation is guaranteed in the democratic system, and you can work to reverse the negative political turn of event that we observe. In other military regimes, you have tranquility, no rancor, no infighting, except when it broke out openly and overthrown the regime. In civilian democratic system, the most important item it puts on the table is the right of citizens to participate in governmental decision making. There are various mechanisms of doing that, one of which were the elected representatives. And the other ones are the right of the citizens to do so many things: raise petitions, peacefully demonstrate, recall their members who are not representing them. So please take note that these things with us, we can choose them, we can use them. Internal funding sources exist. And they are already doing good work. It's only for you to get aware of what their priorities and how you can craft your own funding application. If I may add, those of you who are working in the educational institutions as lecturers and so on, there is the TED Fund Foundation, which is a massive funding agency. They sponsor so many programs around universities and colleges of education and so on and so forth. One of their funding mechanisms is for research, and a research that want to build local capacity for peacemaking and peace building. I'm sure it will attract a favorable consideration. Okay, so thank you very much, sir. Yes. And I think it will I will still pay.
Yes, and also to add, those finally,
the funding that came from the Office of the National Security Advisor then, was an intervention fund across 9 seats. It was Monson, Plateau, Benue, Maraba, a number of others. Now, every month we will attend a national summit or national meeting in Abuja, where the Inspector General of Police does attend. The Commandant General of the International Defense Corps, representatives of the Nigerian Chief of Police Staff and Air Staff and so on and so forth, also members of the National Council, where we, the chairs at the state, do go there and give monthly reports. No, it was monthly later, but at the initial stage it was after every 2 months. We do compile all reports and then we go there and then we disseminate most of the reports we have. And the funding flow was so smooth that it was self-accounting. And for whatever kind of system we're going to design, I think it would be good for us to take note of how interventionists in security and governance issues were made. Because that is the major area whereby we will be able to attract the members locally. And why I said I'm not totally against international norms, but we have to be very careful in light of what has happened or what the regulations we have now. And it will be good if you have funding locally. It doesn't come with too much stringent conditions. It's more flexible. And it's easy for you to negotiate because you're talking to a fellow
brother who understands the situation, who is also part and parcel of the victim cycle, so to say. And you can see physically, practically. Unlike when you talk about international law, who is not present there, who relies on other sources of information, intelligence gathering, so on and so forth, to make a final decision. It would be much more better. But where international funding come in very soft, I say soft, gives you the leverage to take a lot of things you can accept.
Very much, sir. It is the growth of campaign that are taking back. I think the generation unborn will be endlessly enriched if you were to write a memoir or what is possible in the public domain kind of way.
Yes. At the point of winding up the district we had a communication that was done. It was called Securing Technology. I think I do have reference to the publications. Actually, it was published by an old autobiographical account of happens of the state conflict management plans. It was not meant for self. Maybe that is one of the reasons why you couldn't find them in the bookstores. I do have remnants of them. If I can get a contact, I will send copies to you. I also have soft copies. If you can share email of the participants here, I will send each and every person. I will send each and every person a copy of the publication. Now, the publication was detailed enough. It gave an account of my 6 years service as the chairman of the Ministry of Public Management Plans during this period. Also, at the same time, it looked at most of the issues for handling and mitigating against physical politics in the sea, some of the solutions involved, and how we tackle most of those issues.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Just the policies making get me thinking that we really need to do local funding mechanism kind of workshop. It may be a very interesting idea to make part of my recommendation to the center and see that the possibility that exists there that are not utilized. Perhaps civil society organizations like you will benefit from some kind of a workshop that explore this kind of fundamental resource that is underutilized. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say this has been an insightful event. I think I very excited from the mission of the security and the chief information officer. I wanted to say something at the beginning, but then I just decided to take on plastic for a while. I just listened to everybody. People intentional, and I'm glad I did. And first of all, I wanted to talk about the issue of looking at alternative sources of funding. I would say, fortunately, this is one of the issues that has cropped up in the ministry. We've been around now for about, say, 8 weeks. Just because came into office for 8 weeks. And the issue of looking at No, the ministry. Yes. No, we left from justice, and we're now in international security. Yes. So when we came in, we did what I would say our own level of baseline survey, and we actually discovered that a lot of NGOs and CBOs got volunteers and everything. Some of them actually working in isolation. Some activities are overlapping, and then some activities are without necessarily looking at strategic outcomes. And then we decided it's high time maybe we bring these organizations together. But that's another thing. Then we talk about the alternative source of funding, something that we have actually raised, and we have even spoken to some NGOs and CBOs that have sent letters because some NGOs have actually paid authorities and they said, okay, these are the kind of activities we're doing, what on peace building? And we told them, send in a proposal, let's see where we can come in. Because we have funds that have been set aside for initiatives like this, that we'll see how we can collaborate. And another thing we're also looking at is synergy. That synergy is not there. Yes, I know sometimes they say people pay for high things too. We want to make sure that we deliver on outcomes from our funders and things like that. But then it's high time we begin to look inwards. And that's why the issue of the alternative sources of funding came. And he said, okay, if we can provide these funds, we'll be able to make certain decisions, and we might not necessarily bend to the needs and purposes of the international organizations, those who say for the funders. And also, there is also another initiative of preventing and countering violent extremism, which also sponsored by Knowledge, Innovation, Research, and Kaduna State is also one of the states in the northwestern region of Nigeria that has been chosen for that women. And the ministry is actually pioneering, not pioneering, I would say steering, because we're supposed to set up a steering committee, and also we're supposed to set up a northwest law. So it's all still in the works. We're just coming into the green area, but then we're really, really strategic about it, our different internally. Then also, let's talk about, we're looking at different strategies, and I've worked in a lot of projects where we say, when you preach peace, or after talking about peace building, after doing your ATR, what next? Sometimes you cannot preach peace on an empty stomach. Sometimes you need these people who have been affected by conflicts. You do your, probably you need negotiations, ATRs, and then you need them. Sometimes these people need economic support. They need livelihood support. And I know about legacy of, unfortunately, I'm not seeing anybody from legacy here. Ladies empowerment goals and support initiatives. And I know that that's what they do. They provide livelihood support for women affected by conflict. I have been engaged in one of the initiatives in Kaduna. Some of these women have been integrated back into their communities in February. And they also do things like the village savings and loans initiative for these women and youth. It's an initiative where these women come together, not just to see how they can improve their economic situation, but also to interact and see how they can solve the little issues that they have in their communities, some drug abuse and all that. So it's another point. I just wanted to put this there. Then also, you mentioned the state conflict management alliance, and I know ISA also talked about the community management, regional council, something like that. And I know they're similar. Unfortunately, they stepped out, but I just wanted to clarity. So these are still the issues. Sometimes these initiatives overlap, but if we can have it streamlined, I believe we'll be able to have a better objective.
Thank you so much. I think we absolutely clear. How you say your agency would have some funds to support local activities. So that already demonstrates the works. How would people know when you start some applications or guidelines for things like that? How many moments are in the line? What is the family right now?
It's not a matter of funds or anything. There are actually funds set aside for interventions. So what we usually say is we need to see a proposal. We need to see what it is that we want to do. And it has to be strategic. It's not the whole business as usual. I just want to go to the community and do something. It must be a problem that you want to address. And it must be, of course, the objective that you're looking at. And at the end of the day, we should be able to measure and say this is what was obtainable before we intervene, and then when we intervene, exactly. So this is just what we're looking at. But for the meantime, like I said, it's still a work in progress. It's not like the fund is available. What we're looking at now is proposals. Those proposals that will benefit the people. Those proposals that will actually contribute to peace building and improving the security in states.
Have you made advertisements?
No, we have not looked at it. Yeah, we're actually, yes, we're actually setting that line. And just to add to that, the first plan is I'm actually putting a list together. Even me attending this gathering also is taking two birds with one stone. Okay, so I'm taking notes of organizations and then we're going to do an official invitation. We want to have a forum where we invite all these organizations to really understand what it is that they do and how they do what it is. So that we begin to see, okay, how we can come in. It's just
Thank you so much. Very, very productive session. Yes, I will come back. I didn't finish with that slide, but I had to. Okay, thank you, sir. What? Oh,
I just wanted to add suggestion.
Yes, yes, sir.
Advice. I think it is high time civil society organizations and key players in terms of various intervention players within the development sector come together to try as much as possible to see if it's possible to lobby or promote a bill the National Assembly that create semi-autonomous agency or platform that can see funding provide locally. Out of institutional, I shared notes with a number of persons who share the same ideas. We have so many loose funds in the country that I feel would be tapped, if not all, towards providing the much needed support for civil society and developmental activity work within the development field or space. Just like you have the education tax fund, you have the on-paying dividend this trust fund or whatever it is called. You could have something of that sort that tends to cater for developmental work sticks. And it will be definitely good, where civil society organizations can access, everybody can access as long as that particular organization or persons, group of persons, could prove that they do come from that particular area or have interest in that particular area and they've been doing developmental work for those particular areas. And secure funding, if they could tender a convincing proposal that is convincing enough with satisfying end results and so on and so forth.
Just like the international.
That's like the international funders do. You develop a concept note. In the concept note, you take care of the methodologies, the end results, operational methods, what it tends to achieve, sustainability, long term, short term, mid-term, and so on and so forth. I think the framework of accounting or conducting the entire developmental business has been set. What is lacking now is an organized funding mechanism. And one of the reasons why I share this view is that over the years I have come to notice that Nigerians are great lenders. They don't eat, they keep track, they don't out money. Most of this money they don't out, I won't say it's being invested, but if properly understood, would tend to provide better results than those now. This is just my own question. I want us to think about me, and let's see, maybe when next we meet, I'll get more about this particular area. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ahmed Ashif, and I'm representing Enhancing Communities Action for Peace and Better Health Initiative, ECA. First of all, what I want to share with the existing local organizations today in Kaduna State and in our local communities that will help matters in a sustainable pace. I can say that in our community, we help with the attraction awareness club. And the current president shared a very important message that they apply in order to ensure a sustainable peace by fighting against stigmatization and adopting the social inclusion of those young people. Another organization that we have today, National Youth Council of Nigeria, are very much important when it comes to peace because they do work with young people and they have structure right from the state here in Kaduna State, local government, and also down to the world level. And next thing I want to share is that in our organization, after such local community organization did their own part, we usually empower young people. In each community, we have AYPs, that is adolescent young people. Each ward we have 50 AYPs, and they used to step down our activities within their communities in terms of awareness, and our center serve as a social space for both Christian and Muslims and people with different cultures. And coming back to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we did a program here at Kaduna State, and Madam Sheikh Mahmoud, Kubi, Dr. Sheikh, he is the doctor, he is the keynote speaker during that program. I am the one that, moderated the program here at Ariwa House. But what amazingly happened after the program was we were invited by the DSS, though it is normal, and I saw a letter from the DSS, and that letter was from the Ministry of Internal Affairs for investigation. Then I called Zelani Injebusa. He said there is no problem, anything goes on, we should inform him. And after such investigation, they suggested that the name of the organization should be not that name, it should be named. And you made mention of you are supporting organizations with some funds to carry, activities like this. What brought the issue of investigating such organizations that are promoting and also advocating for peace? This is very important because Ministry of Internal Affairs is a similar organization that we as young people can partner together in order to promote. It happens actually not during somewhere as well. Yeah.
Like how many years?
I can say 2 or 3. Yeah, that is 2022. 2022. Yes. So that is what happened actually during those days. And to me, I'm very happy because we have another program under Youth Council of Nigeria, and the program that I target in the local government. So we have security and youth summits. And that program is very important to have collaboration with that of the ministry, especially in supporting us with those, technical support that the ministry is giving to young people, because there are so many activities we want to do to engage young people within, in the local government. Thank you. AYPs, adolescent young people. Yes.
Thank you so much. Great. And what do we got? Okay. You want to let me know about this?
I'd like to start by complimenting my uncle there, who said that the crisis, they had to come together and go around and contribute producing and vegetarians. I related with that because while they were on the streets and they are, I think, late 20s, we were in our early 10s in the primary school where we had drama competitions where we as school was tasked to both private and public school was tasked to follow storyline or scripts that would harmonize or encourage peace in the states, and where example was example there where we that said I had it as a father of Muslim and I had a couple steps already as a kid between them. My brother signed marriage and I was born about it. And I ended up getting the best at all to my athletes and family with that. But that memory etched in my head, etched in my head, I think, forever etched in my head. What am I saying? I think at some point, we need to diversify some of the methods we use in transmitting our message, in communicating our messages to young people. Right now, we need to also consider the age they are going to start age where everybody has a phone in his hand. Even the worst illiterate, sorry to use that word, but worst if it has a phone and has an access to social media platforms. At best, across Facebook, WhatsApp, and TikTok. Yeah, and right now, you don't need to say a word before you communicate to somebody. You have entertainers, influencers who are skit makers, who funny skits. At the same time, they're trying to pass a message. And everybody picks and understands the message they're trying to pass. So I think it's high time we, as much as we go the technical route, we can also look at the entertainment route that is easier accessible to young people. Now, if for this program, if you are asked to mobilize 100 young people and ask them to come here, you might end up probably having at first 15 or 20 who are serious about it. But if you told them that there's going to be a particular entertainer here, I'm sure you will probably have 150, 200, you probably try to match the crowd outside. So what am I saying? If some things or some people or some sections are turning out to be young people, let's try to other around that is more accessible and more comfortable for less people. That is a particular platform that you need to, and that is what entertainment. We can think about skits, we can think about short dramas in these communities, open communities where we can have district religious leaders or traditional leaders support these initiatives where you can bring together the community, have a short play on a piece of material trying to promote, and who's around the community. You don't even need to see who will something about it, the young children and everybody around it. We can also think about intercommunity sports competitions. Sports unite everybody. I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm sure I have other Christian brothers who are also Arsenal fans. Yeah, you have my fans who football, sport doesn't care about religion, just as an officer said, religion doesn't care about it, so also sport doesn't care about religion. So let's also think about these aspects. Let's diversify entertainment or what we can have into community sports competition, where I remember we initiated a football competition that is going on in the South, like we very taken out. Why? Because we heard about it, we considered, well, one of it's very hard to get someone who says, oh, J, but when you entice him with something so attractive as much as football, you know, you give him the opportunity to mingle and socialize with other people, other things and ideas, and then you'll give the opportunity to get yourself exposed to other people and other ideas. Now, he didn't need to spend any code. He will go himself. I think the worst thing I can tell you is to organic life on the big law without So I think if we can begin to think about that, as to go to intellectual and technical route, let's also look at the other platforms, other routes that some people have easy access to funding, easily entices them. We have most of the communities have upcoming artists, and the community people try to do their support by downloading their music or whatever they try to do. Now employ the just all the personal leaders and the community from stakeholders can employ these people to come together. Let's work together. This is the idea we're trying to push. Let's push it because we have this possible. It can go anywhere in our communities. Now, thirdly and lastly, I think we need to think about the parents here, and as well as parents, family values.
because you find out that, as the officer said yesterday, when it's a J coverage funding for cyber now, and then you have his phone showing you. As much as the security for the law enforcement want to add on it, they have limited power because the law is going already now, as much as they want to fix that problem is already rooted in the house. So as much as we are trying to advocate for peace, prevention and identity together, let's also think about where all this training starts from, that's the background. So who we need to improve our family values. Right now you see there are one helter skelter identity based in K for cellular and parents don't care. In fact, you have parents that say, "Hey, Allah told you was up when you that is one of us, that is passing the wrong message. So I think if the community comes together and comes and really emphasize on the being of these issues, sports, entertainment, and family values, I think we'll have every out of the thing which is inspired peace and love.
I think you made a very good observation. Yesterday we had about the critical role that the hospitality industry can play and the potential of the entertainment industry. And that is very important. I can imagine, for example, inviting a famous actor or singer to a fundraising event for the victims of violence family. However, that can easily win the support. Let's say you go to know regarding the actors, they do what? Do a name. For example, they are putting people like that with a project to a fundraiser for the support of victims of violence family. I can imagine that you need very very attractive proposition. If not to give in particular, there are so many of them. There are big deals. They are experts in a lot of change. And it's attract obviously, and it will attract a lot. I think we're almost done, right? Is there anybody who wants to say something? Okay. I don't know if there's anyone who wants to say something. Okay. After I want to shoot. Okay, out there. Look at that. What do we do? The almost done.
Somebody mentioned that yes, from the presentation.
I think you will agree with me that the simple question we asked has been richly and exhaustively answered. What are the strategies of this mechanism? What are the networks that are active in this arena? And one point that I don't want to escape my attention is the question of the transitional justice angle. Many of us are so busy to stop the violence or restore the victims and so on and so forth. Is the transitional justice system not sufficiently engaged? That's the impression I'm getting. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. Yes, go ahead.
Actually, what I wanted to ask
yes.
was whether so I was told by my colleague here that so according to what I said yesterday about the justice system of Nigeria, I think we all know that our justice system is overwhelmed. And somehow, some way, they have found a way to create a kind of smaller court that deals with other issues, aside the major ones. I think this can be replicated in the issue of conflict resolution. Like we create a smaller court for people who are contest that they have done this. They don't need to go through all the rigorous documentation and all this started in court and so. He has already confessed. So there's no need. His own case is very short. So just take him to the smaller court. Those smaller courts should be the ones dealing with that particular particular issue. So that it will fast track the whole process. You don't have a long chain of people waiting on trial and the rest of them. Then these people will be easily placed in detention, and then they'll be how do I put it now? They will be given work to do, they will be rehabilitated, and it will be faster for them to come back into the society. Then they themselves will feel relieved that they have paid for what they have done. And the victim too will be relieved that, of course, the person who victimized them has already been punished. I think that's something different.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just a moment. Are you bidding on us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
For me, I think the transitional justice is quite very okay. But what we should put at the back of our mind again is monitoring and evaluation. By way of they are back into the society, who tracks them, who monitor what they do, who monitor where they are, and what they do at some point in time. I think that will be a very nice one going forward.
Okay. Both suggestions are related to questions of law, and I'm not a lawyer, but the common sense understanding of law will say the kind of court you are talking about, that is like small claim courts, something like that, just like with abbreviated proceedings. Yes, it may have a place, but I don't know what would be the legal basis for such a court. That is something to explore. But I do know that many of the ministries of justice across the northern state have already a sulhu window. That's what it's a place they call it. It's a place they call it ADR. That is where small petty claims or something like that can be resolved through the sulhu arrangement and so on and so forth. Sometimes even big disputes like inheritance and things like that, if they could reach agreement through the sulhu window, then the text of the agreement will be endorsed by a court, and then it will take precedence and off it goes. So this is very important. The mechanism of justice is so challenging, and nobody would dispute the fact that justice is a vital component of the peace process. There can be no peace without justice in one form or another. This is not disputable. The only question is how do you accomplish that? Well, especially confronted with emergencies or people with severe wounds, with bereaved families, with homes destroyed. And if you are facing those kind of challenges, your instinct is like it doesn't go to question of justice. It's rescue, immediate emergency relief, and things like that. But in the long run, we have to find a way to address the justice system one way or another. And like I said, justice comes in different shapes and different forms. And for each case, the justice might be different. The requirements that need to be done to accomplish that is quite different. Are there other people who want to come? Yes, ma'am. Let me come over to you. We have ample time, and I can assure you, thank you. I can assure you, this is a vital part of the objective of why we're here. And I've been earnestly generous in helping us to help our objective. Yes, ma'am.
Like I said, there's no take for slaves. You don't go anywhere in the world, there's no school to people actually attending this in the God. And it's also, you don't go anywhere in the world and say this team is strictly for Christians. You find out that, yeah, I'll get to that point. Now I'm trying to reach people as a team are how it brings you together people. You find out that famous footballer for you have for the idea as many Christian players today.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
You have
Okay, that was in
you see what the impact of Islam was so it was you have other players going to find it to go make something. So some of them probably have this perception about trying an Islamic country, they're this Sharia laws and stuff like that. We're not going there, open the door for other even managers. But last time in papers, so they have one and start their careers in there in Saudi. So now going back to how it brings unity. Now football, I might not know this person's name, or I go watch football in the viewing center and probably support the same team. And my team should score a goal. Do you understand? Just the match by score, do it by that, just United or, and there's no way, no matter the crisis, no matter what's I'll see this man somewhere, probably in need of help, that I wouldn't want because I know he's probably a fellow Arsenal man.
No, Manchester.
Chelsea.
So that's about the community. Now I am from Kokoro. Let's say they have we'll definitely have football in the community. Now let's say we decide to have a friendly match because we have friendly matches. Where there are community offices, predominantly Christians that never noticed probably Muslims. And I decided to have a friendly match. Now people that are making definitely want to come and watch that match. And people are going to definitely want to come and watch that match. Now person automatically indirectly brought people together of different faiths and ideas to come and enjoy. So we are showing them that we automatically have something in common, the football, which is passionate, which is something of passion to all of us. Now, like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. And you can't take it away from all I said, like, the general scope of it is, you cannot take away the together that sports plays. You cannot do that. So now having inter-community sports competition, just by bringing people together in neutral ground, automatically solving the door and whatsoever it is once the door already comes to pieces and having them together. That's what we're saying.
But bro.
Yeah. Something else.
People are different. You know, how I and this man will see the thing, or how we perceive, or how we react towards it, I'm trying to probably the same as how somebody else would. You definitely have, like always say, generally, the majority of the people there go for the idea it's trying to share rather than bad side is trying to bad side of it. Exactly.
It's a very powerful mechanism that can foster solidarity, community, connection. But because it is powerful, sometimes.
No, you see, for everything you're going to, there's always that element of something might go wrong. Because no matter how you do something,
basically, I was just trying to say, it's just like democracy. Professor mentioned democracy. Yes. On the average, I think that on the average, 100%, you can get 70% ending well. More than even that ending well. So like democracy, yeah. Professor say that, yeah, sometimes it gives you the bad, the ugly, the good. So,
but the 100%
football gives you that. There's no 100%.
It's 100% is
Inside the field.
I'm Muslim because I went from the father's side Christian. And when this is not supposed to be, what can we do
see that we're going by the next communities. I want to choose sports where we invite Christian team from South Shabawi to come to Mwada and play football with the most of our area, where we guarantee their security, where we also go there and play football there in Bujumbura, 99.9 Christian, where to Mwada, 99.9. So we use this to build that trust, and it's really helped. After that competition, I remember there are a lot of interconnection where we have new friends, friendship. We go to their place, they invited us for programs before, like they are doing their own things, we are doing our own things. So we use football to unite, give the trust, and also to have that harmonious connection with their community. So I really agree with you with what is actually sport is very in peace building, because youth 99.9 of you today work football or play football. Yes.
Actually, this issue of sport is very interesting, honestly. You see one thing about sport is I have a family background when it comes to sport, and I used to be a sports person myself. When it comes to sport, there's joy, so much joy that you forget that the next person is going to be your enemy. I remember there was one thing that happened when Nigeria was playing, and then this core member in my office told me and said, hey, Auntie, you know what happened? She happened to be an people from it. She now said, when they were playing the football match, and then a man at top played out of it, I think over the back or so, and then the brother was very angry, I was like, people can distribute people. And then the next thing, when Ahmed Musa was playing, he played directly into the net. And you know what? She said the brother turned and picked his friend up and was like, up one name for Ahmed Musa. This is not up one name. This is my brother. You understand? When it comes to sport, people we don't have escalated conflict. It is a kind of disagreement to agree. You understand? And when it comes to having Christians come to the Muslim community and Muslims going to the Christian community, there's guarantee there's going to be protection because there's an agreement from the beginning that these people, they are coming to your place and you are going there, you play home and away. Yes. And there's always home advantage, really, but you never expect because you know you're going there. You understand? That's one thing about sport. It's a very beautiful thing. And it's something that can really help us.
Let's add word again. That brother will very good.
Very powerful. Something to explore.
So I just wanted to share a personal experience as well because I was privileged to work with a particular sub-grantee in Southern part of Kaduna, and his initiative involved engaging the youth and the women in the sporting activity, the ATIA, the houses, and the like this. And we were skeptical at first, supposed to provide us, but then we were looking at the visibility. Are you sure you can pull this off? But because we had already started doing some background work, bringing them together, he said, this sporting activity is going to see it off. And it actually did at the end of the day. And the women participated, not even the men. And it was done in a way that it's not okay between the Hausas and the Fulani. No, it was yes. It just shows the team and then did the dialogue. And then you find out that in a particular team, there is an Hausa man, Fulani man, and an Asia man. And if you were seated there at the event, you would be amazed that these are people that have been in conflict with each other for the longest time. They played well, they cheered each other, and then you were hugging, you were interacting. You would actually see people even collecting other people's contacts. So it was something that was happening right in front of your eyes. So sports, whether it's football or any other sport, really goes a long way to build that connection.
You are concerned about the sports hooliganism and stuff. Should not be dismissed. It's important. Why? Because the psychology of sports is to pacify conflict. It's a conflictual kind of game. There's a winner, there's a loser. And there's the pain of losing and the joy of winning. But it is captured and like domesticated. So that the same kind of dynamic does not plague the whole of society. Do you understand? It's a coping mechanism that draws the potential conflict and normalize it. And if I make it like entertainment, you compete fiercely. And the premise of the sport is there will be a winner and there will be a loser. Yes. Experience. Yeah. Yeah. That's too imagine Kaduna.
Together without any conflict. So after the football, if there were schools,
The winning mechanism.
yes, they happen for years without any.
Again.
Yes, the education more than
You must agree that it's a year of values. Like sports enthusiasts, I say, how long is sports enthusiasts? I know some enthusiasm, when I was eliminated. I know some enthusiasm, when I was eliminated from the warm-up series, by a long goal. The whole aim of the competition with I have never been signed in my life and heard it. I was on the thing also. So I asked myself, what am I saying for? Yeah, when I lost my dad, I wasn't so stagnant. I was and from that day, I believe to be very myself. I'm no longer interested in any sport whatsoever. But I know how powerful it is. How powerful it is, and it can be abused because it is powerful. How experience and understood. That is very important.
Even in the world cluster,
It has to be part of the toolbox for peace building. I agree. Yes. Sporting events, sporting events must be part of the tools for peace building and promoting on issues. No doubt about it. There's no need to argue. The only question is how to win. Similarly, the entertainment industry that was mentioned, that also is, it must be part of the toolbox for promoting peace and community condition. Because they can deliver the message. In addition to that, let me bring the. Oh, you can speak louder. Oh, speak louder.
In addition to that, when such activity happens, there is something that's supposed to be done. That's after the match, before the match, there should be an orientation. And after the match, there should be another presentation. You understand? So doing will make people understand that you are my brother, the other person is my brother. We did that in Rikasa 13 years ago. And not 13 years ago, people who say that Rikasa and Sabatasha are not good areas. You understand? But under Rikasa and we organize a football match between Rikasa and Sabatasha. And we organize 4 teams, Student Mada, Rigasa, Narai, and Savantasha. We went to Savantasha, Rigasa went to Savantasha and played match. Very successfully. Inside Savantasha, then Savantasha came to Rigasa, Narai came to Rigasa, Savantasha went to Student Mada. 13 years ago, and it was successful. After the program, we found each other. We tell ourselves, Peter, you understand? What you just said before is the conclusion of the issue.
Yes. Yeah. It could go wrong. Once in a million. Like an operation in the hospital can go wrong. Once in a million. The fact that does not negate the value and the power of that instrument. And the enthusiasts, they have the habit of annoying people. Especially if there is a match, they will not come home, they will stay after work, they will go to a joint and they'll be watching the game until 8:30, 9:30, and they didn't come home to see their home for the children. They would leave the wives with too much on their plate, and if they lost the team, they become very disagreeable to be around. There are all those negative side of it, but make no mistake about it. It is a powerful, powerful tool that fosters strong social bonding. And in that sense, it is really a necessary instrument for building peace and cohesion within the community. Much of that applies to the entertainment industry, especially the visual ones, like drama, like film. Those ones, they appeal to emotion, not to listening, because you see it through your eyes and you react by your gut reaction and so on. Other forms of entertainment require some intellectual engagement, and that can be too heavy to do. But the one that hits you emotionally and you really feel it, they are powerful tools that can be or should be used all the time. Anybody want to say something? Any comments? Any observations? Any topic not addressed? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just to add, you say, apart from the sporting events,
and the entertainment,
there are initiatives. For example, we have a project we did in Kaduna, where the CPUs that we mentioned earlier from the TP's observer, part of their action plan is to say, okay, what can we do to our Muslim brothers that they will be happy with? So they eat prayer ground before so they went there and clear the grass. They do that annually. And also the Muslim brothers join hands with all other. Yes, so we do that. It is an initiative that we do. In Kaduna, that one was the Chatiya. In Kaduna, we say, okay, we have different tribal groups. We say, okay, let's give us the kind of delicacies you have from the different cultural groups. So the Hausa, the Fulani, the Adana. Yes, they do food for peace. You understand? Food, and people will come and sit down and eat different foods you've never eaten before, and it gives a sense of belonging. So there's a lot of initiative that we just need to encourage ourselves. Say, okay, let's just do something. Even if we call for peace, we don't say right. All depends. From the beginning of the project, the players are part of the beneficiaries. The coaches who are part of the beneficiaries. So when we come to the competition, there's this understanding that okay, we are playing all-star peace. It's not about even the scoring. Some of the referees will just award penalties, even if you are scoring, maybe you are leading with 3-0. The referee will give your other team penalty to also score 3, so that at the end of the day, because you have 3 entries and no
victor, no boundaries. There has to be a loser for the winners to celebrate.
My brothers and sisters, my leaders, I am extremely grateful for this wonderful opportunity that I had to learn so much from all of you. And I have no way of thanking you other than say, may God reward you for all your generous sharing of your experiences and expertise. And may God Almighty continue to bless your effort with success. And thank you so much. The program manager is here. We have had, while you are multitasking, we had the most wonderful free flow conversation. Is that correct? Accurate description?
Yeah.
Over to clap for yourselves. So over to you now. I'm full. Back and front. Yes. So,
okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We really happy for us to come to this particular junction at this time, and for the fruitful engagement that we are doing. And it has been a very good day for all of us since yesterday and today, because we were able to make a lot of good pathways to discussions. However, please, regarding an establishment of a network, I want to return before we round up. I know we have shared a lot of feedback. However, will we be able to establish a new one, or we can be able to build on the existing one that some of us have shared? Just any rough comment. Let's establish a new one. Oh, fantastic.
So the telephone numbers you log in with, that can provide a basis to build.
Yeah.
Unless that is not your WhatsApp number and you want to change it.
So actually, we will still come back again for these particular sessions and to see how we can develop in the book and see how we can strengthen what we have started. So in this aspect, in a very quick one, yesterday we were able to itemize some stakeholders here. And of course, you sound to be very good in that because those are also relevant stakeholders you have mentioned. So therefore, how could we be able to also get in contact with those people so that we can bring them on board of this particular network that we want to establish? Any suggestion? Because a couple of us have done a presentation here, and then I think you too, you have mentioned some couple of network. I think CSO, right? And then community-based organizations. Yes, sir.
If I may add, while you are multitasking, we have received significant information on the networks around the Interfaith Mediation Center and other ones that I have noted, including the JNI and CNN.
So that's so great. If Interfaith and JNI are already working,
yes.
That's why I asked the question: should we establish a new one, or we have to leverage on those ones? If we have to leverage on those ones, definitely we'll contact them immediately after this session to see if we can make us some bit of connections to see how we can build on that. We'll just take money if they want.
The different one decided the existing district of local there.
Yes.
So it's the hub of information and experience.
Yes, sir.
And knowledge-based person. First-hand, but we are there also from our participating, participant observations. But we leverage on that experience and do it on it. So then, we can create a kind of the movement, the water the extended kind of ratio. Take the Borno and the Northeast model, bring it here, open it up, learn, relearn, unlearn, and do a lot more.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you mentioned about JNI and the Interfaith, right?
Yeah, the C.
So maybe and Khan, right? Yes. Okay. In that regard, can we be able to have those ones, or maybe we could discuss this after the session, so that we can leverage on those ones then to also establish a new contact? What are you suggesting on that, the existing ones? So I don't know if you've got a question. Yes. So who can you
So the proposal function
what we are trying to say, no, we cannot be able to use all, but we want to use the most relevant.
After the section, we can make it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say is that there is a kind of a network contact mediation center. We are not establishing any new one. We are delivering on that particular one and see how we can be able to expand. Are you okay with this? Yes. It's okay. You can see. You are the contact of everybody. We are not. And all the people that are here are from an organization. And then Interfaith Mediation Center is here. PNI is here.
Can is there, our Papa is there, these are the same. You can leverage on that.
So that's why it's going to be multiple.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
If I got the feedback very clear, what he was trying to say, instead of getting a multiple direction, it's better we use the campaign, which is already in existence, and it comes from all of these kind of general and other traditional groups within organic. And yes, we would now use the campaign to expand. Is that what you said?
Six people here. So they want to chance us. See the symbol is how to send the transform couple that's how to cut out. Don't just
Understand what Black Box is all about, what we can identify who your customers here to be at least because it is not a small tax so that from time to time we can encourage ourselves to do those things.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a kind of wonderful session and a fruitful one. Now the decision is for us to see the umbrella of the state for. We can use that one and see how we can be able to expand it in larger space. And that would be reflected in our next action point. I think that will suffice all of our feedback.
Madam.
I think we have come to the logical conclusion of our session. Thank you very much. From Green Advocacy for Public Education and Resilience Union, in partnership with the Spring Program, we want to use this medium to take people who are kind, who are energy, and for all of the simple feedback that you provided to us. All your feedbacks are pretty documented. We will go and examine all of your feedback and see how we can utilize all of the ones that you shared with us. I will be back each and every one that you mentioned here. And that is why we call it as a stakeholder experience and the kind of the most prominent people within this country. And thank you very much. See you next time in our sessions. Yes,
this program. The purpose for which this program is organized as you in your name.
Amen.
As we go to our various home, may we go peacefully. May we go in peace. There shall be no problem on the way. Nigeria will live peacefully.
Amen.
Nigeria will be great again.
Amen.
Thank you, Father. This is our soul, Christ our Lord.
Amen.
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 Because he refused to say amen. Because I refuse to answer our prayer. But when you say amen, you stand it.
Amen.